Let's talk about how to write a 5-star job description. One of the biggest mistakes I see business owners making is not actually paying attention to their job description. They copy and paste something from the internet. They don't really put the time into really understanding what the role needs to do. And then they question, why can't I find great people? Why did I hire somebody and spend all this time going through resumes just to find out that the person didn't work out because they didn't have the experience and weren't able to solve my organization's problems? Well, I have a solution for you, a big solution for you, which is pay attention to your job description. So I want to give you a super simple framework for how to write job descriptions that I know convert. First of all, you have to start by thinking of your job description as a sales tool. It is not to write all of the boring and mundane things that somebody's going to be responsible for in your business. It's to sell the right candidate on why they should work with you. Because if you find the right person, they will be able to attack the problems that you need them to solve inside your business. And so it should be set up like a sales pitch. In the same way that you recruit for clients, customers, maybe patients inside your business, you should be thinking of the recruitment process, the attraction process of your candidates in your business. You have a candidate pipeline, just like you have a client pipeline. And so in order to really nail this job description, you first have to change your frame of mind as to what the purpose of it is. The purpose is to sell somebody on why you and your business are the place for them to join. So let's just dive on into the actual structure. The first part of the job description is a interesting 5-sentence position summary. It is an overview. What is the main point, the elevator pitch, so to speak, of this role? Why would it be interesting for somebody to be a graphic designer for your organization, be a technician for your organization, be a hygienist for your organization, work at the front desk of your organization? I can't tell you how many boring job descriptions I read of people just saying, you will answer and be responsible for the phones and greeting people and saying hello. That's not interesting to somebody. What if instead it said something like, at Cardone Ventures or ABC Company, the receptionist role is a pivotal touch point in every client's first journey, first experience with our organization. You are a brand representation that has opportunity to move into other parts of our organization when you are excellent at this role, when you deliver on the expectations of this function, and when you exceed what your job description is. If you started to think about the sales and the position summary overview in that type of light, and I'm just off the cuff right now, but I would love to explain to you how we do this with a position like a CFO. So I'm going to walk you through that right now. The CFO position summary overview would be: the CFO is a true business partner to the Chief Executive Officer and responsible for the overall organizational performance in regard to both the annual budget and the brand's long-term strategy. That's an interesting, catchy first sentence. And then it goes on. The CFO will develop tools and systems to provide critical financial and operational information to the CEO and make actionable recommendations on both strategy and operations. It doesn't say anything about spreadsheets, and you and I both know that the CFO is spending a majority of their time in spreadsheets. But we're not talking about the spreadsheets. We're making it sexy. We're making it interesting. We're selling somebody on why this position. The CFO will ensure that long-term budgetary planning and cost management are in alignment with the brand's strategic plan, especially as the organization considers sponsorships, potential acquisitions, and collaborations with external organizations. You get the point. It's as interesting as you can make it. It's not bullet points, really boring stuff. So that's how you start the job post. Now we're going to go into the next section, which is about your company. It is vital that you're not just selling the role, but you're also selling the vision of the organization. Who is your company? Why would somebody want to choose your organization versus all of the other organizations that might be offering interesting, exciting opportunities? Well, this is your chance to be able to explain what makes you different. And there's a handful of things that you should absolutely include in your organization's overview. These 3 things are your organization's mission, your organization's vision, and your organization's core values. At Cardone Ventures, this is what it sounds like. Our mission is to help business owners achieve their personal, professional, and financial goals through the growth of their businesses. We work in dozens of verticals and provide strategic business guidance through courses, live events, partnerships, and investments. Our core values are the backbone of our business and guide our hiring process. We are inspirational, disciplined, accountable, transparent, aligned, and results-oriented. We believe that we can help 1 million business owners transform their business over the next 10 years. Super simple and straightforward. This is about our organization. It's not some boring, lame place that just wants to do the same thing next year as we did last year. We're selling the why. We're selling our mission. We're selling who we are. We're telling people we're disciplined. If a candidate isn't disciplined and they're like, oh, I was looking for something cushy, I was looking for something really comfortable, they're not going to be interested in this position, and we don't want them applying. This provides you freedom because you're being really clear about what you expect from the get-go. Now, if you've been in business for many years and you still aren't clear on what your mission statement is, you're not clear on your vision and where your organization's going over the next 10 years, and you don't have super well-defined core values, you should check out my book, Teamwork. You can go to cardoneventures.com/teamwork, and I'll get you a free copy. You just cover shipping, I cover everything else. And once you read the book, you'll be able to have more understanding and tools and different examples and downloadables on all of the different components of a job post, but also your mission, vision, and your core values. So on to the next section. We've covered the position summary, we've covered about the organization. Next, we're gonna go into objectives. Now, objectives is more of the blocking and tackling. If you're gonna share objectives with a team member about what the position is, it is the main 10 to 12 things that this role is going to be responsible for. Ideally, these things should be in order of importance. So let's say your CFO is responsible for doing daily stand-ups with the finance and accounting teams. Do you think that that's going to be the first thing, or do you think that creating an annual budget and ensuring that all department heads are meeting, if not exceeding, their departmental budgets, do you think that would be the first one, or do you think that'd be the last one? It's probably going to be the first one, and then the daily stand-ups are going to be way down below, if even included in a job description. It's the most important things that somebody is going to be spending their time on. In a sales environment, you're probably not going to put that entering data into the CRM is the first thing on the objectives. You're likely going to put, hey, you're going to make 250 outbound sales calls as the very first thing. And you're listing out all of the things that you know that role is going to do inside your business. Now, my biggest piece of advice here is for you to at least spend 10 to 15 minutes really thinking through what you want this role to do. Now, sales is a really bad example because most people know exactly what they want their sales teams to do, and it's very measurable. You know how many outbound calls, you know how many appointments, you know how many closed deals your targets are. But with an accounting function, with an HR function, with a technology function, with an ops function, I could put two operations managers side by side in different businesses, and you would have totally different job descriptions. You would expect these two operations people to be doing totally different things with their time. And so the more you can think about what your business needs, what do you need? Maybe you as a founder are very strong in operations. So you need this person to put together reports to give to you, but you don't need them to analyze them. You don't need them to meet with department heads because that's your function in the business. Or maybe you are terrible at operations. You are not good at holding people accountable. You're more of the marketing and sales arm of the business. Well, then you need that operations manager to hold those meetings, to analyze the results, to push those things forward to the next level. So just because you have a position that you think I can Google this and just slap a job post up and you're going to get the right position is not really how it works. And this is the biggest mistake that I see business owners making. Think about what you need. Think about what your team needs. Think about what your organization needs from this role. And then use only those things. Forget all the stuff that everybody else is doing. What does your business need? Only you or your leadership team knows that for the specific role that you're hiring for. After objectives, you're going to move into competencies. If objectives is the what somebody is doing, the competency is the how they do it. Do they do it with certainty? Do they negotiate and have a way about them that allows them to move conversations forward with ease? Are they very analytical in nature and take a critical view of data that's given to them? Competencies are a great way to really understand and put in front of a candidate the description of the way that you want them to go about their work. So in the CFO example, let's just pop this on up here. In my book, this is in page 75. Competencies of a CFO we listed as working knowledge of taxation and corporate structures. It's really important for a CFO to know. You could have a CFO who, from an objective standpoint, developed the financial foundation of the organization, but if they didn't actually have the tax knowledge and they didn't know that that was an important competency, they might apply to a role that they don't actually have the right experience in order to be able to fulfill. Proficiency with word processing and spreadsheets. You would think that this is a no-brainer. However, proficiency and intermediate knowledge or basic knowledge is a competency. So this is why we're listing it in the competency section versus the objectives. Again, this is the way that somebody does their work versus the what the work is. Next up, we're going to move into education and experience. If you have some requirements for degrees, for certifications, for certain levels of training that people need in order to do the role, you should absolutely list them here. My rule of thumb on this is I would rather hire for attitude and train for results. So in most situations, I don't care if somebody graduated from high school. I know that inside our organization, there are very few roles, maybe legal, that actually need a certain type of degree in order to do that role. Brandon, my husband, who I've worked with for many, many years, barely made it through his first semester of college, and yet he is one of the most quick, smart, in tune human beings as it relates to financial information and is more proficient at calculating numbers than most calculators are. So we try to put the bar as low as possible for education and specific experiences because we have a lot of confidence in our ability to train people if they have the right attitude, if they have the right mindset going into the role. But if there are roles that absolutely need certain types of experience, certain types of educational backgrounds, of course, we are going to list that there. Fairly straightforward. Next, you're going to want to list any benefits that your organization is providing. Now, one thing that we do that's very different that I recommend you do as well is talk about personal, professional, and financial goal planning. That is a benefit to working inside your organization to your team members. If you talk to your team members about their goals, if you hold them accountable to their goals, if you create an environment for them that helps them achieve their goals, that is one of the greatest benefits that you can actually provide to somebody. Most people get so stuck in the minutia of the blocking and tackling with benefits that they think about, PTO, and they think about holidays off, and they think about all of these things that are nice and important to be able to share with team members. But what is the true benefits or series of benefits that team members get through working inside your environment? If you've never thought about it like that before, maybe you should spend a little car ride or a walk thinking about what are the lists of benefits that somebody can have access to just through working inside your environment. This is a place to be more creative than just putting yourself in some box of what most people refer to as traditional benefits. The final section is the call to action. My favorite part of the call to action is ensuring that it is everywhere. If you do not have a call to action on your job description, you've kind of lost the point. You want somebody to actually move forward with the job that they are reading about, just in the same way that you want on an ad or a piece of, white paper. No, not white paper. What are those things called? Yellow paper. Yellow pages. Remember yellow pages? You would have like a phone number. It wouldn't just have had an ad. It would have a phone number. Similar to all of your marketing collateral, a job description should have a call to action. Come work with us. Apply here. Now, we do this little hack that has really benefited us and got us talent in a much more efficient manner, and that is in the call to action section when we're telling somebody how to apply, where to apply. We also put the sentence in that encourages people who are really serious about the opportunity to send their resume directly to careers@cardomventures.com. This is what I know about myself. If I was going to apply for a job, I would want to do everything I could to increase my chances that somebody actually saw my resume, So knowing that I'm looking for more people like me, I'm wanting to have more people who are trying to figure out how they can position themselves to be part of this organization, I'm leaving them this little clue of the best way for them to be considered. And we've had some remarkable talent that just goes straight into our inbox instead of going into our recruitment platform that might have hundreds of applicants, because they are going to get seen in the inbox and have greater chances of getting an interview than somebody who's just applying through the traditional method. This is a great thing to add at the very end of your job description when you're telling them where to go in order to actually apply for the job and doing your closing pitch on why they should choose to work with you. Once you have the job description complete, it is time to start the interview process. And if you are terrible at interviewing people, you don't have a lot of experience, it might be your first time, or you just recognize that you have a lot of team members that maybe aren't the best team members for you, and you realize that it was you who made that decision, it probably started in the interview process. So this book here has the entire life cycle of going from the job post to the interview process to the onboarding documentation and everything up through promoting people inside your organization. I highly recommend that you pick up a copy of Teamwork. You can go to cardinalventures.com/teamwork in order to get your free copy. And I look forward to seeing you next time.